Horus sat before the viewport. His armor was black but also radiant, as though he were a prism that caught the light and then cast it back out, as though he were the source of all illumination. A hollow of crystal and gold framed his throne. The burning skull of Ferus Manus rested under the blade claws of his left hand. His face was open, serene, welcoming. "My brother," said Horus, standing as Perturabo advanced. Forex held a step behind his lord. Argonis had moved to stand beside the throne. The equerry seemed out of place beside the dazzling presence of the War Master of mankind. Perturabo bowed his head briefly. "My War Master," he said. Horus walked down the steps of the throne dais. At the corner of his eyes, Forex thought he saw something shift in the glare, like a smudge of oily smoke above a burning horizon, like a mirage. "You have done it," said Horus, stopping before Perturabo and placing a hand on the Lord of Iron's shoulder. "No place beyond our father's last wall is not ours. Our forces shake the ground. A crumbling circle of failure is all that remains to Lorgal. Totality, as I asked and as only you could create." Forex felt his heart rise, felt the fatigue of which he had not been aware lift. He felt exalted, fulfilled, as though everything that had not come before was a dream and everything that would come after was a promise of bliss. Perturabo gazed at his brother for a long moment, eyes seeming to not reflect the golden light of the room. "It is not complete," he said. "It shall be. The walls will shatter. When that is done and our brother's pride lies in the ruins of what he made, then we shall call it totality." Horus's smile broadened. He held his hand on Perturabo's shoulder. Warmth, understanding, and complete control radiated from it. "As ever, your craft is matched only by your diligence." Horus let his hand drop and half turned away, his fingers gesturing glowing displays into being. The image hung in the air, pin-sharp accurate, the markers of unit strength and tactical data drawn in multicolored halos. Details crawled over the images, tiny movements that echo some vast shift on the surface far below. It was beyond real, as though it was not data or projection, as though it was the vision seen by a great, all-seeing eye. "The spaceports are mine, as you said they would be," said Horus. "My might moves in full across the arc of the earth. Almost your full force. Only the last Legion and Titan Legio element remains. Once they are committed, then the last phase begins." Horus was tracing the claws of his left hand through the visions of the palace. Forex thought he saw the glitter of explosions where the blade tips touched the image. The War Master was not looking at Perturabo. "The rest of my sons in the machines of Mortis." His voice was low, casual, the threat of a predator's purr. "The third flees the battle space," said Perturabo. "Their numbers and strength must be replaced." "Strength," said Horus, the word hanging in the air. His claws were poised in the images of the battlesphere. Unit values and threat markers gleamed on the razor edges. "Will you send my sons as you did at Saturnite when I committed them in full?" The tone of his voice was still the smooth warmth of before, but Forex felt the cold crawl down his spine. This was the reason why the War Master had summoned the Lord of Iron. 3 companies of the 16th Legion and the Mournival lost in the fissures and spaces beneath Saturnine Wall. A ruse imagined to bring swift victory turned into a bloody defeat and slaughter. They had been read by Dord and he had been waiting. Abaddon had survived from the strike force and the rest buried or cut down. It was a bitter loss, made worse by the fact that the sons of Horus's elite had not acted with the direct sanctions of the War Master. It had been kept from him, hidden by omission. Had it worked, victory would have ensured forgiveness. Now Perturabo would have to face consequences. "Loss is a factor in all victory," said Perturabo, his voice cold, his black gaze unblinking. "Do you seek to tutor me, brother?" Horus let his claws drop from the projection. He smiled at Perturabo. "It is no matter. An action worth the risk and the loss. Were it otherwise, I would not have permitted it to proceed." Forex felt himself blink with surprise. and then the cold crawling down his spine sharpened. The War Master was still smiling. "Did you truly believe that I did not know? All is revealed to me. I am illumination." He stepped closer to Perturabo. The air felt suddenly heavy. Storm changed and thick. Forex felt the pressure in his skull, the taste of sugar, of blood, of ash in his mouth. There was something moving at the edge of his sight, something in the golden light, something that was just behind him, just out of sight. Black veins spidered Perturabo's face, bulging as muscles tightened to cords. Forex saw heat glow red on his armor. Then for an instant the War Master seemed not a man, but a shadow at the heart of an inferno. Then he was just as he had been, radiant and smiling, hand reaching to pat Perturabo's shoulder. The pressure vanished, the light resettled. "My good brother," said Horus, "iron within, iron without, iron for eternity. You have done all you have promised. What more could I have asked? It shall be complete, through totality. Then I will call it done." "You will call it done?" said Horus, and now there was a soft edge of humor in his voice, like a distant thunder growl. "And what of your War Master? What of what he commands done?" "I am giving you what you want." "Are you?" "It is the only way." A slow grinding of equations, walls pulled down by the clicking of ratios in cogitators. "The only way? Where there is no way, I shall make one." Horus turned slowly. He raised his hand. The display dissolved all but one. It grew into a section of the inner palace, and its wall filled the space between the Primarchs. Horus reached a silver claw into the sphere of light. Its razor tip held on a section of wall sketched in red light. "Here," he said. Perturabo was silent, his face set as he looked at where the finger blade rested. For a moment Forex thought that his eyes and mind were playing him false. Mercury Wall. 200 kilometers of defenses that stood almost intact, almost 1,200 meters high from parapet to base. It was a tired mountain range of rock concrete, metal and shaped stone. 2 bastions that were fortresses in their own right, all watching over a kill zone that extended 120 kilometers from the wall to the horizon. Together with Excellent, which lay to its east, it was amongst the most substantial sections of the ultimate wall that ringed the inner palace. "An assault there will not succeed," said Perturabo. "It shall be done," said Horus. His gaze was fixed on the image. "You shall ring the walls, brother, just as my might shall encircle our father. There shall be no respite from where the sun rises to where it sets, and Mortis shall walk as one. They shall open our way within. Legio Mortis, the dead's head, largest of the Titan legios, first to bow to Horus and the new age. A legion whose name was a promise to those who would face them in battle. Until now they had not walked on Terra, but slept in coffined ships in the dark of the void above the world, slept and waited." "They will not reach the wall," said Perturabo. "The projections are clear. Wait until the encirclement assault takes its toll, and every wall shall fall." Horus's clawed finger lowered, slicing through the light of the display before it vanished. He turned his back on Perturabo and Forex and walked back to his throne. "If Mortis walks against Mercury now, they shall fail," called Perturabo, and Forex felt the anger and will that edged his voice. "They shall reach the wall, and it shall fall," said Horus. He turned and sat, and when he looked down at them, Forex had to avert his eyes. "How can that be?" "Because I will it so," said Horus.